Now we will start discussing further. The previous one we had discussed for aluminium, which was atomic number 13. Next is silicon, atomic number 14. Try to write the electronic configuration for this both using SPDF notation as well as orbital diagram. How can we write it using SPDF notation? You can write it as neon configuration. So it comes out to be 10. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Then comes 3s2. 3s2. Then 3p. Here I must write 4. Isn't it? Silicon. So here 10. 3s2. Here it comes to be 3p. How much? Okay, in the previous one, I'm sorry, that was for the other one. Now here 3p, previous one was 3p1, 13. Now 10 plus 2, 12 plus 2, 14. Clear? So which are the valence electrons here? Valence electrons are 3s2 and 3p2. Next, after silicon, phosphorus. Phosphorus 15. Then again, which one do you have next? After phosphorus, we have sulfur, then chlorine, argon. So we will write up to argon, and better we will write potassium as well as last one is calcium here, which is 20. We'll write the electronic configuration here. 10, 3s2, 3p, 3. Why? One extra electron. So 3s2, 3p3. 10 plus 5, 15. Neon configuration 3s2, 3p4. Isn't it? 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 10, 16. Then again neon 3s2, 3p, 5. Clear? Argon, neon, 3s2, 3p, 6. Now you see, what did I tell you? Maximum number of electrons that can be occupied in p orbital is 6. See here, p orbital has 6 electron, s orbital maximum it can have 2 electron, and it is completely filled here. So which element it is? Argon. Helium, neon, argon, these are noble gas. They are highly stable because of their completely filled electronic configuration. Completely filled outer shell electrons, they are called as core electrons, as well as outer shell electrons are completely filled, hence they are called as noble gases. Now next, when I start writing for potassium, I will complete this. That means total of how many? 18. And after 18 we will go on filling. Okay, after 3p, which one I have to write? 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s we finished. Next we finished 3p. Next comes 4s. So I have to fill the electrons in 4s orbital, right? So if you see, I'll write it as argon configuration, because you remember neon was 10, it was a noble gas. Using that as a standard consideration, we wrote the electronic configuration. Otherwise you will need a page to write, a full page to write the electronic configurations for few elements. That is why we'll cut short it and write it by considering the noble gas configuration as it is the standard configuration. Now here potassium 18 plus one more we need, we will fill it in 4s. 4s1. Clear? 1. So total it will be 18 plus 1, 19. Now how should I write calcium? Argon configuration into 4s 2. Yes. So here ends classification that we were considering up to 20. For that we have written the electronic configuration. There is slight variation in case of the upcoming electrons that we are going to write, the electronic configuration that we are going to write. We will see what it is. Next is scandium. So hope till here it is clear. Next is scandium, vanadium, titanium, manganese, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, then iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Here what we see is the variation is that here 3D has less energy than 4p. So here what is there is, you see, after 3p 4s, after 4s comes 3d and then 4p, isn't it? So 3d has lesser energy compared to 4p, and so now the electrons gets filled in which orbital? It gets filled in 3d shell. So scandium is 21, titanium, vanadium, chromium 24, manganese 25, iron 26, cobalt 27, nickel 28, copper 29, and zinc 30. Why I am writing all these electronic configuration is to teach you the variation of how the exceptions exist. In the periodic table, the exceptions exist. There are some changes. So for scandium, how do you write? I had told you that we write argon as a standard 118. Yes. After 18, where do the electrons enter? Electrons enter 3d, 4s, 3d also, isn't it? So how do you have the electronic configuration for scandium? You write the electronic configuration for scandium as 3d1, 4s2, that is 4s2. Here from scandium we call them as transition elements. I'll tell you why. The reason is because this will be the ultimate shell, and the shell before this is called as penultimate shell. The penultimate shell gets filled first. It gets filled, and that is why we call them as transition elements. So here what happens, this 4s2 has already been filled. Where? In the previous one, you see, in calcium. Now remaining is 3d. Why we write 3d here is because that will be the penultimate shell. 3d having lower energy, the electron fills there. 18, 19, 20, 21. One electron occupies 3d. Next here, argon. 3d. Here 4s will be filled already. 2. 3d will have 2 electrons. One extra electron. Here argon, 3d, 3, 4s2. Chromium will be argon, 3d, 5, 4s1. Now you can ask me why I haven't written in the order as that of the previous one, isn't it? Why I have not written 3d4 4s2 here? I could have written 3d4 4s2, but it's not 3d4 4s2. Instead, it is 3d5 4s1. What is the reason? For chromium, they ask a question. For chromium, the electronic configuration is not 3d4 4s2, but 3d5 4s1. Why? Why will be the question. I'll speak about it later again. I'll tell you why these exceptions are. Next, this continuation goes as it is. Argon, it should have been 3d4 and then this is 3d5. So here for manganese, it will be 3d5. 4s2. Iron, argon configuration, 3d6 4s2, cobalt, argon. You can calculate the number of electrons here. So 6, 7, 8 plus 18, 26. Okay. Argon 3d7, 4s2. Nickel will be argon 3d8, 4s2. Now copper will be, it should have been how much? 3d9, 4s2. But here the electronic configuration will be 3d10, 4s1. Zinc, argon, zinc will be argon 18, 1920 plus 10 in 3d. So here again zinc will have all the electrons, outer shell being completely filled, and it is highly stable. Now let me speak about these variations. Why in chromium you see exception and why in copper you see exception. These are the special case in a periodic table that we observe. The thing is, it should have been 3d4 4s2, but it is 3d5 4s1. You know what is the reason? See, when I write the outer shell electronic configuration, it becomes this way, isn't it? How many electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. If it was in the order, proper order, I should have written 3d4 and then 4s2. This is 3d, 4s2. I should have written this way. But now what has happened, you know, one electron from s orbital has jumped to d orbital and it has become 3d5 and 4s1. It has become 3d5 and 4s1. 3d5, 4s1. The reason is because here it is exactly half filled. I told you to remember in case of nitrogen. In case of nitrogen also, there what had happened? The last electron was 3. That means in P, 2p orbital, you had only 3 electrons. If you go back and check it. Total how many possibilities? 6. Half of it is 3. So so 3 means, that means it is highly stable. So stability of the atoms depends on their electronic configuration or filling of electrons. If the electrons are exactly, if the orbitals, I mean to say, if the orbitals are exactly half filled or completely filled, then such atoms or such elements are said to be more stable. Now in this case, what has happened? So chromium, it wanted to be more stable, but it was unsatisfied because it had only 4 electrons here. However, 4s was completely filled, but 3d was only 4. That means only 1 electron extra it required for the stability. So what it did, it just adjusted with 4s. So that is why with mutual adjustment it got 3d5 4s1. So this is how we see the electronic configuration for chromium. As well as one more exception, rest of the things are in order. So copper here again 29. So it should have been 18 in S, 2 electrons, 20 plus 9. It should have been 3d9 4s2. 3d9 4s2, but it is not 3d9 4s2, it is 3d10 4s1. What has happened again? It was 9. All the electrons were filled like this in d orbital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 electron it wanted. So the neighboring 4s orbital had 2 electrons, isn't it? So 1 electron it has accepted and it became 3d10 4s1. Why? Again, because completely filled orbitals means it will acquire more stability. To be more stable, it has changed its electronic configuration as 3d10 4s1. You have to say to attain stability. What will be the reason you will be mentioning? To attain stability, the electronic configuration, or you have to say that completely filled orbitals or half filled orbitals are highly stable. So let me erase this. So you will make a note that completely filled orbitals or half filled, that means exactly half filled orbitals are highly stable. Are highly stable, and that is why we see exception in the periodic elements. Clear? Now there are some other factors which will result in the stability of the atoms. One is called as exchange energy. What usually happens is within the same orbital, now say if it is all half filled, then here what happens, they are all symmetrical, and these can exchange their energy. That means one electron can jump to the other orbital and that can come back to the other orbital, or it can exchange with the neighboring other orbitals. So that also can go on exchanging. During exchange, extra energy that is got, that will result in the stability of the atom. So what is one factor that results in what the stability? The factors that leads to stability are, one is exchange energy. When there is more exchange energy, then more will be the stability. And the other one is relatively small shielding. If the shielding is less, then it will be more stable. Relatively small shielding. Why? If the shielding is less, what happens? The outer electrons will experience less nuclear pull, so it can be easily removed. It will not experience stability, it will feel insecure, that kind of. So relatively small shielding. Smaller Coulombic repulsion. Smaller Coulombic repulsion. You know what it is? The repulsion here, what happens? If there are two electrons, both electrons are negatively charged, so negative they try to repel. So we say Coulombic repulsion will be more. But if they are placed in such a way that, if the arrangement is such a way that they are at a good distance from one another, then the Coulombic repulsion will be slightly less. And that is why smaller the Coulombic repulsion, greater will be the stability. And other factors which I can tell you is, however, I have mentioned about larger exchange energy and symmetrical distribution of electrons. I'll write it here. Symmetrical distribution of electrons. So make a note that I have given you examples of writing the electronic configuration. Please do practice writing electronic configuration. This is the base of inorganic chemistry, because in inorganic chemistry, as you move to your higher classes, you will be studying more concepts related to that. Unless you know to write electronic configuration, you may find difficult at few areas, and that is why concentrate and try writing electronic configuration by yourself, you'll surely enjoy. At least till zinc you need to practice really well. You can write electronic configuration for further more elements also. So hope in this class we have discussed electronic configuration of the different denotions. We have notations we have studied, that is SPDF notation and orbital diagram notation we have studied. Concentrate on all the important rules which we have discussed or principles that we have discussed. Make a note of it. Statements are important, and in structure of atom, as I have mentioned earlier, the different models of atom, its conclusions, or say the limitations of few important ones, like that of Bohr's atomic model. Quantum numbers, very important. Then line spectrum of hydrogen is again very important. So these are the areas where you will concentrate more and prepare well. So this is the end of unit 2, that is structure of atoms. In the next next video, we will move on to the next unit. So hope you have understood all the concepts. Thank you.